Hello, I thought we'd have a look at what goes into your gig bag today. Um, what is a gig bag? Well, it's the bag that you put everything in when you go off and do a gig or go to a lesson or whatever it is. I know at the moment we're not actually doing any gigging or anything like that, but I do know that some of you are getting out and doing stuff, so it might be of some use to some of you. So what is a gig bag? Well, it's the bag that you put everything into, and a lot of your ukuleles will have come with a bag, usually a soft bag of some sort. They provide a degree of protection, certainly, but if you're doing a lot of traveling or you're going out a lot with your ukulele, you may want something a bit more substantial. I'm going to give you a couple of recommendations of some of the stuff that I use. I've tried them out, so I know that they sort of work. So it's not that I'm being paid by any company or anything like that to flog their wares. So starting with the bags, I use a Fusion bag. They just do the job for me. Fusion do bags for every type of instrument. They do one specifically for ukulele, and what's great about them is that they firstly go on your back like a rucksack, which makes them easy to carry. Secondly, they have a lot of space for lots of different bits and pieces, and I can get everything I need into my Fusion bag, including the ukuleles and all the other stuff, stands and things. So I'd heartily recommend one of those. If you've got a very precious ukulele, you may want to put it in a hard shelled case. There are plenty of those out in the market. They are a little bit expensive, but they do the job. And certainly, you can stand on them and it's not going to hurt your uke. So they're a lot more substantial. So you've got your ukulele, you've got your bag or your case. And then what else are you going to need? Well, a strap. So obviously a strap for your ukulele. If you've got a hard case, you'll probably find it difficult to get the strap into it. They don't really fit very well. So you're going to be taking your strap on and off. In the softer cases, you can usually use the strap on. So just as a little aside, when you've got your strap here and you're taking it on and off, this bit gets very worn. It moves, the leather moves and stuff like that. And after a while, it can end up actually not holding on very well. And I've actually had this happen to me where a ukulele went flying across the floor when I put it on at the Theatre Royal, as some of you may remember, which was all a bit frightening. So what you need is really what's known as a strap lock, and you can buy these which will fit over the top of here. But there is a little trick, as many guitar players will tell you, and that is get a bottle of Grolsch beer. There you go, there's the bottle of Grolsch, and you'll see at the top there is a little red rubber ring. So you drink the beer, you then take the rubber ring off the top of the Grolsch bottle, and then you put it over the top of the nut of the strap button there to keep the strap on, and that holds it in place. This is an old guitar player's trick. So rather than having to buy something, you can drink a bottle of beer, put one of those on, and that'll keep the strap from flying off. So that was a little aside. So you've got your straps, and a stand is the next thing that you're going to need. I would really recommend the rat stands. This is the lightweight folding stand that they do. I've come across loads and loads of stands over the past few years, and some of them weigh an absolute ton. This is so light, it's unbelievable. It's very, very sturdy. I've been using mine now for I think over a year and a half, and it's been absolutely fine. And that's been on a daily basis. It's been up and down on a daily basis. So I could really recommend the rat stands. They're a little bit expensive. They cost about 25 quid, but blimey, they're so good. They are, and they're so light as well. So if you've got it on your back, you don't even know it's there. Whilst we're talking about stands, attachments to stands, one of those things that you might need is one of these, which you can hang your ukulele on here. So this screws onto the side of the stand, onto the pole of the stand, and then you can hang your uke there, which is really useful because you're not letting it lie on the floor or leaning up against a post or something, or a chair. So it keeps it safe off the floor. These ones, make sure if you're going to get one, make sure it's for your ukulele, so it's not too wide here. I think they're made by Kinsman, these ones. You can also, they also do a drinks holder version, so you can get one of these which screws onto your stand, which you can put your drink in, which is very smart, but I don't have one of those. So that's one of those things. Another one you can get is one of these, which is known as a pub prop. These are great, but in the days when you're in the pubs, you could just screw this onto the side of the table like that, and then you've got your little bit here like that, which you can hang your instrument on. Really smart, and it all folds up and you can take it all apart and it will fold up very neatly. So that's quite a good. So that's known as a pub prop. If you want to get one of those, they're quite handy. So yeah, so that's the bits that go with the stand. So what else are we going to put in our bag? Well, obviously our tuner. We're going to need a tuner. Take that with us, and a pencil. That's a pencil. So it's always good for making notes. Always good to have something to write with, and of course your songbooks. So you're going to need those in your bag. If you have all your stuff on an iPad, then that's always good to have that, because it's not quite so heavy. But you can't write in it with your pencil, but make notes. But anyway, you can make notes somewhere else. So yeah, they don't weigh quite as much, the iPads. A cleaning cloth is useful to have. Just have it in your bag. When you finish playing, you get quite hot and sweaty, and it's good to just wipe down the ukulele to get all the muck off it if you can before you put it away, so it doesn't stay there. So I would recommend having a nice soft cloth in your bag. What else? Kazoo players, you're going to need your kazoo, so that can go in your bag as well, and you can and your kazoo holder, one of these which you can get in different styles and types, so make sure you've got that with you. And so of course spare strings. Get a packet of spare strings and have that in your bag. I know you're not likely to break a string. It's very unlikely that it will happen, but it does happen occasionally, and it's always good to have a spare set with you. And of course, if somebody does break a string and they haven't got a set, you've got one that you can give to them and say, here. So I would recommend always having a set of spare strings in your bag, which I always do. If you're a plectrum player, you're going to need all your plectrum somewhere. I put all mine in a box like that. This is an old card box, business card box, which just does the job really. Brilliant. So it's full of plectrums, and I've got capos in here as well if you were thinking about having capos. Plectrums tend to disappear into another dimension. It's a dimension that is inhabited by single socks. That's where they go as well and disappear, and so do plectrums. So be warned. Nobody knows quite why, but they do. And of course, always check the filter of your washing machine as well, because they tend to get full of plectrums if you shove them in your pocket if you get to take them out. So you've got all that, and then a battery. A battery, remember to take a spare battery in your bag for not only your tuner, which will probably run out of juice at some point, but also for your ukulele if it's an electric ukulele. So let's move on to that. What I've just gone through here is basic stuff that most of you will need when you go out and do stuff. The next little bit is probably for those of you who are going that little bit step further if you're doing open mics and things like that, but I'll just run through those very quickly anyway. So if you've got an electric uke, you're going to need your leads. So you're going to need a lead to be able to plug in, and it's always a good practice to take two. Have a spare with you just in case. If it can go wrong, it will go wrong. That's the rule of thumb. Gaffer tape is always handy to have. You never know when you're going to need it. You can use it for all sorts of things, gaffer tape. Things get broken. And if you're really serious, you can get one of these, which is like a multi-tool, which is just, it folds up into nothing and a pair of pliers, and there are scissors, and there are things to take stones out of horses' shoes, and all sorts of stuff in one of these. Always really handy. Screwdrivers if you've got a loose heads and things like that for tightening up. That's really good. Your own mic and your own lead would be good to have those with you if you're going to an open mic. Make sure you've got that. And that's pretty much it, really. One other thing that you do need to remember is have a drink. So whether you get the drink where you're going or you take it with you, it doesn't really matter. But make sure you have a drink, especially if you're singing. Keep hydrated. So here's a quick rundown of what you're going to need. A gig bag, a ukulele, obviously, your strap, a strap lock maybe, your stand, a uke holder for your stand, drinks holder maybe for your stand, a tuner, your pencil, a songbook, kazoo maybe, if you're a kazoo player, cleaning cloth to keep it nice and clean afterwards, to wipe it down, a set of spare strings, your plectrums, put them all in a box, keep them up together, your capo, and a battery for your tuner and maybe your uke. If you're doing more serious stuff like open mics, then don't forget your leads, take a spare one with you, some gaffer tape, a multi-tool, and your own microphone and lead if you're singing. And of course, finally, a drink. So, here's to next time. Cheers.